What's up, everybody? FSC Trucking. Man, it is a hot one today for Wisconsin. A high of literally 100. That's no joke. So it's been an interesting day. I left my place in Freedom this morning, came down here for 9 o'clock, and picked up was supposed to be a partial. I guess technically it still is a partial. So we came down here to Milwaukee. We're not that far from Miller Park, the baseball field for the Brewers. And picked up this old, I think a compactor. And yeah, 30 feet of trailer. That look like 30 feet to you? So it's an LTL. And that's all the space we got left. Let me tell you something, that ain't no 30 feet. So, we'll talk about it in the truck. So let me show you what it is. So basically it's this stuff. They sold it here in Milwaukee. It's going to North Carolina as used equipment. The big load, the oversized load, it left, it got loaded and left right before I had actually started loading. So that's the whole conundrum. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Of course, I got the green APU running because it is hot out. We're gonna try running it with the while I'm driving because we're just gonna go to the yard here anyways. So we got it running and check it out. Not only is it hot, it's humid. It's just drip, 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 dripping. Oh, that air works so nice. So yeah, obviously we sweat a lot getting this loaded. I drank like probably 4 or 5 bottles of water. So that's the load. Hydraulic cylinder, the thing it presses, the thing you put the crap in, and then a little controller shack there. Yeah, sometimes you can't always haul the cool loads, right? And then the rest of the, whatever this used to be, yeah, that's it. So either way, it was definitely an interesting day having to deal with brokers and deal with well, basically trying to get more money out of it because it went from a load taking up 30 foot of trailer to basically the whole thing, and it wasn't worth hauling. And then to make it worse, you see the riggers here with the forklifts that, oh wait, they went home, right? So they were like, well, we can just unload you. I'm like, yeah, how you gonna do that? Yeah, we'll talk about it in the truck. Let me get going. We'll talk. Oh yeah, we're not far from Miller Park, you know, the baseball field. Check this out. These are this is down the street from Miller Park. Alrighty, let's get after it. Alrighty, let's get this show on the road. It'd be easier to back out than try to turn around in that mud pile. So this is a recycling place. That's, like I said, it's not far from Miller Park. I think they crush and cube up cans and then stick them in these vans, and oh, it's alter. So yeah, it's alter metal. So that'll go up to alter metal to get, you know, scrap cans made in aluminum, I suppose. But anyway, so their baler they sold. I guess you're getting a new one, and that's where we came in. So we don't do a lot of broker loads, especially coming out of the yard or out of Wisconsin, but sometimes it's good to add a broker load to your own stuff, and that's kind of how it plays out, right? Get what you can get, put a broker load in, you know, it's LTL freight, right? Less than truckload, you know, not full trailers. But the LTL trailer wound up being basically a full trailer, and that's where the whole rigmarole started with fighting with these guys as far as getting more money out of them, because they didn't want to come up off any money, and I'm not willing to work for free. Ultimately, what I think happened was it was just an error in figuring out the kind of space that was required on a trailer to haul the remaining pieces. Because the one big piece, the actual press, that's an oversized and overweight load. Supposedly he was going to get permits for it, but even there they didn't know what kind of weight that piece was. They thought it was 50, then 57, and I'm like, well, if it's 57, I don't know how that went on permits on a 5-axle trailer, or I mean a 5-axle truck and trailer combo. As far as I know, that's a bit heavy for a 5-axle. 6-axle do it all day long, not a 5. But again, I could be mistaken. Right in front of you. I don't even know what they call it now. They used to call it Miller Park. I don't know which bank or insurance company bought it for the naming rights. They used to call this road Miller Parkway, not Parkway, Parkway. That used to confuse me when I first came up here. And now they call it Brewers Boulevard. So a lot of people that don't do flatbed work might not quite understand when I mentioned about a rigger. So these guys are like, they're high, really big, heavy equipment movers. They've got really specialized forklift trucks, specialized rigging, chains, different booms and forks for their forklifts. They haul them around in trucks similar to mine, the trailer. They were there. Good company. I've worked with them before. But sometimes they get a little impatient, and being it was really hot and really humid today, and nobody really wants to work outside any length of time. So we started loading the trailer, trying to keep it as compact as possible. And then the stuff just kept adding up and adding up and adding up. And then it was like, okay, so this isn't fitting in 30 feet. And the price we quoted and was approved on was based on 30 feet of trailer, not overwhelmingly the whole trailer. So then it's like, okay, we need to work on that number, or we're gonna just unload it and call it a truck order not used. So once that all started, I stopped tying it down, and then the riggers were like, well, what are we doing? We're just kind of sitting around waiting. So I noticed that the riggers, they left. Now they unload and load the trucks, right? Well, they left. So the broker was like, I'm not going to tell you what the price was, but I will tell you the difference was. So the broker came up $500 off of the original price. But now, as far as I'm concerned, it's full truckload. Because you only left me like 5 feet of trailer. I'm like, that's full truckload. I'm not playing that game. So he came up 500. And I told him, I said, dude, I would never in a million years haul a full load from Milwaukee, Wisconsin to North Carolina for that price. That would never happen. I'm like, I came all the way down basically from Green Bay to come down here, and he's arguing me over an additional $500. But they already came up 5, and I wanted another 5. So then they were haggling about it, and they were like, well, they'll never pay it. I says, you're gonna pay it. He's like, how do you figure? I says, what do you think labor costs? I says, you're gonna unload, you're gonna pay the riggers per hour. I don't know what they charge, but I guarantee you it's probably more than that, to unload my truck. And then you have to have them come back. Assuming you can find another truck to haul it for that cheap. Then they're gonna have to come back. So you're gonna pay them that difference. Also, nobody, if you're honest with your dimensions, nobody is gonna haul it for that. So you better come off, you're gonna pay it. In fact, the number I'm giving you, as far as I'm concerned, is a discount. I could ask for another 1,000, and you will pay the 1,000. I'll let you in with the 5, and I'll leave it at that. Well, I have to call the customer and get it approved. Okay. So then the guy that unloaded, the guy that sold the press, he agreed to come off some money and help if it needed to be done, because he understood full well. He's like, it's going to cost a lot more than that $500 to pay me to go. It's going to cost me cost somebody a lot more than that to unload the truck, reload another truck, if even you can find someone to haul it at that price, which I sincerely doubt. And that's how it played out. So as of right now, I got a promise from the broker that he's gonna send the rate con, that it was in fact approved by the customer. They got to transfer some money, and then we'll get the rate confirmation. Heaven help them if I haul that stuff to the yard and they want to be like, well, you already left and we never sent a rate con, because I had the GoPros going when the phone calls were made. So that's kind of how that went too. Of course, I'm not releasing that until if I need to. So long story short, we don't get the rate con, stuff sitting at the yard, and as far as I'm concerned, it can sit there. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that, honestly, that we're going to get the rate confirmation, then we're going to get to strolling, and that'll be that. But sometimes, I guess the point is, sometimes these brokers, they think they can put you over the barrel, because, you know, typically, now bear in mind, I'm leased on with Whitmire Express, so I normally do not get involved in the rates. That's not what I do. You know, they offer it to me, and if I like the load at the price, I'll take it. If not, then they can put it on a company truck or another owner-operator or whatever. But when dispatch calls me and like, hey, you know, you do what you want with this, because it's up to you. We're done. We're not fighting. I'm not on the phone. We gave them a bottom line price, and that's that. And the broker's trying to play hardball. So dispatch was like, well, you know, he's an owner operator. He's over there. He's pretty irate. So they gave the broker my phone number. So the broker called me, which one I didn't answer straight away, because number one, I don't answer odd calls. So he called me twice. Then he texted me. So I called dispatch. I'm like, hey, you want me calling these people, talking to these people, or? Because I do have a habit of getting a little vicious on the phone sometimes with people that are acting a fool. So basically I called dispatch and I'm like, hey, permission to act the fool? Not really, but I wanted to know if I was supposed to be making these phone calls, if I had the authority to say yay or nay. They were like, listen, do what you want. We don't care. Okay. my attitude at that point changed. And once they started talking about, arguing about the price, and that's why I told them, I says, well, we agreed to give you a price of truck order not used. I said, so now we're arguing about $300. Do you really think you're going to unload a truck and reload a truck for $300? He's like, no, probably not. I said, so you're going to be paying anyway. So now that I know I got you, you're going to pay me or pay somebody more. Now it's on principle. That's how it went. Ordinarily, I don't get like that, especially when, well, I mean, we rarely ever have these problems, basically. But I always call in the office to make sure before I start possibly speaking out of turn. Because I'm not my own motor carrier, I am leased to a motor carrier, so I have to watch what I say. It represents them. But once they say, have at it, well, all right then. Times are hard, freight's slow, don't get me wrong. It's, you know, but there is a point where I told the guy many times, I don't work for free. I'm not going to North Carolina for that kind of money, and that's that. So you're going to pay more, you're going to pay me, and that's how it goes. But I'm not going to give it to you. Brokers make plenty of money. Now, if the broker ain't getting it on his end, he's got to get the customer to come up off more money, then so be it. I don't know what the broker's taking off of his end. You know, you would think, I don't know, what standard broker fee, what they charge, 10%? But they'll charge a lot more than that and try to pimp it out for a lot less money than what they should be. That's the name of the game. I get it. If you can collect $5 grand on a load and pimp it out for $2, you put the $3 in your pocket. I doubt they paid that much. But, you know, broker got to eat too, you know. I don't like the fact that there is such thing as brokers, but it is what it is. But all the same while, if you're going to collect 5, pimp it out for 2, and collect 3, well, we got the lion's share of the expense, not the broker, so why are you keeping the lion's share of the money? So they'll job it out for as cheap as they can and then come up if nobody will take it. And I have seen it where brokers will say, well, it takes up X amount of space. And then they load the trailer, it takes up more space, and they'll tell you, oh, well, too bad, so sad. I'm the guy I'll tell you unload the truck. And once the riggers are no longer there to unload the truck, you might think you got me. But in reality, it's the other way around, the way I see it. I see it is trucking's a business. You got to try to do it as honest as you can. All at the same time, if you feel like someone's being dishonest with you, you need to make sure you call them out on it and hold the line. Set your bottom dollar and don't move off it. And to be honest, what I'm getting for on this load, to me, a little cheap. I ain't gonna lie. For my standard, it's a little cheap. For Whitmire standard, it's a little cheap. But I'll make money on it, don't get me wrong. It's just that I had to hold the line. If I was much more greedy, I would have unloaded, wasted my day, wasted the week, and then what would I do the rest of the week? Maybe I could have got a better load, maybe not. But either way, I'd be driving all the way back to my shop with nothing for nothing. Because believe me, if you think I'm going to drive 200-mile round trip for $200, even if I'm empty, but I will if I have to. Oh man, this is not the video I intended on making today. I wanted it to be more fun and Yeah, it didn't play out. Oh, whatever, we got it done, so. Game plan is we'll be in North Carolina Monday anyway. So that's how it's gonna play out. Alrighty, boys and girls, we're in North Carolina. In about 18 minutes we'll be at the delivery. It's been an interesting day. So since we left off, we loaded this finagled mess of trash and had to deal with the broker that didn't want to deal with the fact that it takes up more than 30 feet without paying extra. So the load was always supposed to deliver today, and that broker always knew it was an LTL load. In fact, that's why we agreed at the price we did, because I had told them that we're not putting freight with this load. We are putting freight with this load. It's just we have less space to do it in. Well, that extra piece was a small generator and it had to come off this morning. So today is Monday. We loaded everything up last week, came out over the weekend, dropped off this morning the generator. Now we still got the circuit mess of bundled up bunch of compactor stuff. So I made the call. Actually, I was in the middle of making the drop first thing this morning, and of course dispatch called and says, hey, how's things going? They're already calling and busting chops. I'm like, all good. We're waiting on the crane to get here to unload the generator. About a half hour later, we were done, got rolling. Then I texted the broker, gave him the time. He's like, did you call the customer in North Carolina? I'm like, no, not yet, but I will. So I gave him a call, talked to him, and apparently the broker lied a lot. So the broker wasn't happy we weren't going to be here first thing in the morning. So he was texting me back and forth, which one I called dispatch, and I'm like, you know what, here, you guys deal with him. I don't even know what to tell this guy anymore. So they told him, look, we got to stop ahead of you, and as soon as we're done with that, we're coming right to you. And that's the way it is. The broker is not being honest with his customer, who we're delivering to. And he was told, well, I just wanted to go home and hang out with relatives. And I'm like, well, who told you that? Well, he told me the broker did. He said him by name. And I said that so-and-so, I said what so-and-so doesn't know could fill a buck. And that's how we left it. So he was going on and on about, you know, we're down south here and it rains in the afternoon. I'm like, okay, well, I hate to tell it to you, but it was 100 degrees and probably about 98% humidity when we loaded it. And I was soaked to the bone loading it, so this would be a lot better than being soaked to the bone when we loaded it. So it's not even raining all that hard. Like, we're going down the road, so it's drizzling at best. And if it was raining, it is what it is, man. I mean, what am I supposed to do? The thing is, the broker, to review, the broker put this up as a load that took up 30 feet of trailer. It takes up in the neighborhood of 42 feet of trailer. So we weren't able to put as big as a partial to go with it, which took the money down. And I told him we are not coming to North Carolina with just this stuff. It's not worth the money. We've got to put a partial with it, or he's going to have to come up with more money. That's how we came down to the number that I agreed to, because the broker originally, I'm not going to say what the numbers were, but the broker wanted to pay us $500 less, and he said that was the bottom line. And I had said, well, then you can unload the truck at that price. But at that point, while he was talking to this guy up here, supposedly, about whether he would come up on the price and meet what we had demanded, even though that was still too cheap to run as a straight load, you know, full load, they sent the loaders or the riggers home. So how are we going to unload the truck without a rigging company if they already packed up their forklifts and gear and went home? So I guess they thought they had me stuck. So which one? I tied the load down because it was either going to be unloaded right there or it was going to go to the yard and let the bosses figure it out, because I was done with it at that point. So long story short, I guess we'll find out here very soon whether this guy's a decent guy, a polite southern gentleman like he tried to make himself sound like on the phone, despite he wanted to politely give a couple digs, and I did not bite. So we'll see if he is truly a polite southern gentleman, willing to understand what the truth of the matter is, or we're gonna have problems. Obviously we're filming, so stay tuned.
Man, I didn't think you'd ever get here.
Oh, working on it.
Been sitting here since Friday waiting on you.
Yeah, well.
What are you wearing a hat?
GoPro hat?
Oh, that's a camera?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's enough, I could tell there's enough fire started by this lovely Riley over there.
I tell you what, if you're recording it, I might get myself in trouble, but
Oh, I can edit, yeah, don't worry about that.
I don't think he can find his ass with both hands.
No, well, I'll tell you straight up what happened. And that is honest truth. We took this load because it's an LTL based on 30 feet of trailer. The well's 29. Now you tell me, is this 30 feet?
Right.
It's not. So then after we load it and we start trying to get, you know, when this last stuff goes on, I'm like, all right, I'm calling dispatch. I'm like, okay, we got a problem. What we have planned to go on the tail of the trailer isn't going to fit. So I take pictures, I send it to, he starts going on with dispatch. Dispatch is like, your load's too big. We got to get that other piece to go with it. It's either we have to come up with the price or unload the truck. He's like, well, no, but what about this price? And dispatch says, listen, the guy on the ground, he's an owner operator, he owns a truck, he owns a trailer, but he's contracted to us. It's ultimately up to him. So I told Rod, our dispatch in Wisconsin, I said, okay, what's your bottom line price? What's our bottom line price? He told me. I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's either gonna be that or I'll tell him to unload. So then it's like, well, I gotta call down to North Carolina, find out if they're okay with that. Yeah, meanwhile, it's all loaded, yeah, but I have maybe half of it tied down. Cause I told him, I said, I don't know if we're unloading or loading right now. I'm not gonna tie it down. They said untie it in an hour. So then they go ahead and send the rigging company home. So I look at the guy that's sitting on my trailer, the guy that sold all this stuff, and I'm like, man, that's nice. So now if you guys, if you won't come up on the price to haul the freight, now how are we unloading the truck? You guys left. What am I supposed to do, push it off? I told him what's gonna happen, it's gonna go to the yard in Wisconsin and let the bosses figure this crap out, because at that point I'm out of it.
Right. Well,
so then I get the call, yeah, we're good to go. I said, it don't matter now. I'm already tied up and heading to the barn. I'm like, okay. So we had to put a different piece on the trailer now because we lost all this footage. Right. And that wound up with a what
were you going to pick up other than this?
Small generator. Oh, it was going to be I needed 16 feet of trailer. It would have come out to about here.
Well, you could have put it on top of that.
Yeah, that would have worked, except it's all, you know, not level and it was a little tall. So we wound up taking a smaller one, which went to like some kind of like little, like a medical center kind of deal. But the property was too small to get me in the parking lot. So they had to like a little road like this, you shut it down and then we had to wait for the crane. Once the crane was off, paper sign, out of there. And that's how it played out. So it's like,
look, on top of everything else, the boss.
So this guy burned everybody.
The man that wanted to load, to sell the damn machine to us, the guy that you were dealing with,
yeah,
principal guy.
Okay.
But the guy that owns the facility and owns the machine that we bought it from,
right,
We had trouble getting the finance people to go ahead and issue the check, not because of credit, but they had problems in their office. But we finally got it. So,
right.
So we're ready to go, and the guy that owned the place, he said, well, I don't want it to be loaded out until I can be there. He wasn't there.
He was on vacation.
He went to Wyoming for 2 weeks. In the meantime, what the hell was he going to do? Is he going to run the forklift?
Right.
Bitch didn't know how to run one.
Well, they had to hire people that had forklifts to come in there and do it because
His were gone.
Well, especially that first truck, I'm sure that got here by now, that big one.
We got it.
Right, yeah. So that thing, you had to have, you know, specialized equipment to come get that.
That one weighed 55,000 pounds. This one doesn't weigh shit.
Yeah, that's what they said. So, but I was just like, okay, who in the hell? I mean, we're based out of like 30-40 miles north of Milwaukee. So I'm like, if you're looking for a trucking company to haul this kind of stuff near Milwaukee, why did someone call a brokerage and this? You know what I mean?
You know,
I'm like, we're down the block.
Yeah.
the company's not very long.
How long did it take you to get here?
I left Saturday.
Left Saturday.
So yeah, I dropped off this morning. So Saturday, kind of an easy ride to get here. That's what kind of got upset was who was speaking on the phone this morning. They kind of got a little upset on the phone. So I was like, oh, it's nice just visiting family. I'm like, my family ain't nowhere near where I live now, number one. Number two, that ain't even close to what happened.
After the trailer was loaded, that you were going to visit family that you had in Wisconsin.
Oh, he's full of crap.
That's exactly what he told me.
I mean, my shop and my house, everything's I live there, you know, but that's not why. Because if we had it all situated and figured out, I could have been down here Friday
And back.
And we could have
I'd be on my way back.
And we could have had this some big road.
Exactly.
It won't take long to unload it once it's untethered.
No, it'll take me longer to untie it. But no, it's just they were. I don't know if it was a calamity mistakes or added up to somebody also being dishonest on the same time. And I'm not, you know, see, I had to get a little on the phone, and I'm like, dude, what's the guy name in Milwaukee? The guy's name. I told dude, I'm not trying to be an ass, man, but I don't work for free. I told him on the phone with his original number. I'm like, dude, I would never come to North Carolina for that cheap. Never. I wouldn't start the truck for that kind of money. I'm like, dude, stop it. Yeah. And I don't know what kind of money he put in his pocket on this deal.
I have no idea. I know what I paid for the few trucks. But,
yeah, because I didn't know.
I didn't get the service I thought I did.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know what I'd be walking into, if I'm running right into a hornet's nest or not. Because I've had that so many times where it's like,
look,
you know.
I've dealt with moving freight with so many different people. I've never had a problem with the drivers. So when he started telling me that you elected to go visit family in Green Bay over the weekend, I'm thinking to myself, something doesn't jive here.
Yeah.
Well,
no, that's the thing. That's why I really don't like dealing with freight brokers if I can avoid it.
it's all good. Before you leave, I need to make sure I've got your company's name, because I've got some that I got to haul.
Oh yeah, it'll be on the paperwork.
Okay, I've got to haul. We were just talking about it. I've got a warehouse full. How heavy is this thing? The big one.
I don't think it's really that heavy as much as it's just awkward and bulky.
I've got a 6,000 pound lift. Do I need to get a boom truck down here or something?
How high does it lift? You look on the other side, you'll see how it's set up. Because when they lifted it from the inside where I had it hooked from. See up in here? Here, how about a trailer standing in a puddle? There's no floor to it.
I think I could chain to the paradise.
Yeah.
Pick up the paradise.
See, they lifted it by these three up top.
Yeah.
But if it's just a forklift, if you got long enough forks, you could snatch it up, stick a block under it,
Yeah.
These are just sitting in there, the stairs.
I don't know that my fork can reach the other side.
Yeah, so you have to lift it from the lift eyes.
If I put a chain across there, I feel comfortable I can pick it up with the fork. But I can get a cherry picker down here from the other yard down there.
Well, whichever. Like I said on the phone, man, we're all in the same spot, so don't worry about it, brother. I'll work with you. You want to get that piece off first?
No, I'm gonna take the whole thing.
All right. That one ain't big enough. I got a bigger one.
Okay. I try to keep 3 different sizes because I don't ever know what size to get in.
Now we haul a lot of oversized fire trucks, so I got 4 special for that.
Will it fit? We'll borrow one of yours.
Yep. Every now and again we ship them out and they need to tie them to the ship and they don't come with them, so we gotta send them out with them and they buy us another set.
That's good of them, isn't it?
Well, it's either that or they ain't sending them shackles. Those things ain't cheap, you know that. And that one's 16. That one's rated for what, 8.5 ton?
Yeah.
Like 17,000 pounds.
Do you think I should pick it up from the other side since it's heavier?
It's gonna try to lay back that way. If you pick it from this side, it might try to go away from you.
I'm gonna come around the other side. I'm gonna stick the forks over the side. And then I'm gonna let you go down on top of the fork.
Yeah, because when they put it on, they also grabbed the center, so it balanced it.
Well, I don't have that luxury.
Hang on, I'll tell you. All right, he's got the straps over it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get all the way up.
Yep. Yeah, you guys are good. Get on out of there. All right, you guys are out. Lay it back. There you go. Now let's go straight up. You got it. clear the trailer. They're clear.
Come down some. Don't be so top heavy.
Alrighty, thank you. All right, my friend.
Steve,
Thank you much.
Appreciate your help very
Excellent.
much.
All right, big guys, thanks for your help.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All
You have a
righty.
blessed ride, okay?
Excellent. Take care now. Yikes, now I can't see. And what do you know, now that we're empty, sun came out.